I think they did an IQ test of North Korea and of all the countries, and I think it recently came out. And the average IQ of North Korea is like 102, 103.
Fair enough.
Like higher than Americans.
Here's a fact I do know that is true, is that North Koreans are going to overpopulate South Koreans because South Koreans aren't having babies, but North Koreans are actually having births at a replenishment rate that is positive. So there's going to be more North Koreans than South Koreans, like period, full stop.
Because if you think about it, and people, Koreans, South Koreans, especially in Korea, hate when I say stuff like this because they're like, oh, you're a North Korean
sympathizer.
You're a 빨갱이, which is called, it's what you call red commies or whatever.
Yeah.
They're going to call me that. Whatever.
Which is crazy because, certainly eat a dick.
Yeah.
Because there are thousands of families in Korea that still have living relatives that are across the wall.
Yeah.
And they can't reach each other. Let's talk to them because they probably want to see their families and relatives before they die.
So
this is important.
I've met okay. If you really think about it, of the two Koreas, North Korea is actually the based Korea.
Oh, they are the Trumpian Korea.
They
are
super based.
Yeah.
They are like, nobody come in here. No one ruin what we're doing. We're going to run it the way we want to run it. We don't want anyone to infiltrate on how we run our country.
Yeah.
And whether you agree with how they run the country, it's not for you to say because it's not your country.
Yeah.
But
here we are with our Western values saying, "Oh, North Korea, they don't have the internet and the prawn. They need the prawn. They need liberalism. They need the ability to waste their life on the internet with TikTok. Like that's a Western imperialism at its finest.
Because they are super conservative.
Yeah,
They're
North Korea first.
Yes, that's all they care about. And actually, they would rather protect the entire peninsula of Korea rather than all of it.
100%, and this is not communicated often. Actually, North Korea. I don't know everything, but from what I've heard, there is a higher sentiment across North Korea of unification for the greater good of Korea people. Which, if you think about it, remove the politics. If we're all one and we're all Korean, we should probably unify. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
I think so too. I'm a big proponent of a unified Korea.
Oh, for sure.
I've always been.
No doubt. I think any argument against that is political in nature and lacks like common sense.
But anytime something bad happens in the news, they're like, oh, it's the North Koreans. I remember when George Bush said, the axis of evil. And they said, Iraq, Iran, and North Korea. And I'm like, North Korea? When have they ever invaded anybody?
They have done.
What have they ever done to you?
They've done nothing. Is the answer. They shot a couple missiles over Japan.
You call them? They're called the Hermit Kingdom for a reason because they don't leave.
Yeah, but that's where the APAC imperialism is like they're not being influenced by us, so we need to change them.
That's exactly it. The APAC influence says they are not playing ball with us. We all hate them now.
Yeah, it's Judeo-communism.
Because I spoke to several people that have been in North Korea. Actually, if I can go anywhere in the world to visit, North Korea would be where I'd want to go.
I went to North Korea.
Did you?
I mean, I did the tour through the tunnels.
I want to actually go into North Korea. I would love to go. If,
I could show you a picture.
If anyone from North Korea is watching, like, let me in.
Well, actually, if there's a North Korean refugee or someone who's come back, who's that lady that was on Joe Rogan?
Oh, she's like the worst.
Is she a psyop, though?
Oh, she's the worst.
She a psyop?
Yes. Yeonmi Park?
I don't remember her name.
Yeah. So the one with the big... yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. So, because she... Okay.
So why is she a psyop?
Quick
Why is it obvious that she's a psyop?
Because she got famous for going around saying, North Korea is so bad. I used to eat rats and all this.
Yep. She used to eat bark. Tree bark, yeah.
She was famous in Korea before she came to the United States because she used to be on the variety show circuit in South Korea.
I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah.
So she was plucked. So let me get this straight. So she came from North Korea, went into South Korea, made a good life as an influencer.
No.
And
she grew up rich in North Korea.
She grew up with the silver spoon.
Yeah, she's top 1% in North Korea.
And then she came to South Korea.
Yes.
Became famous on her notoriety.
For being the rich North Korean girl.
And then she was plucked from there to become the American psyop representing North Korea.
Correct.
She does have a nice rack.
She is well known in Korea, South Korea, for being. She was known as the rich North Korean girl.
I didn't know
That was the character
I
that she
didn't know
played.
that about her. Oh my gosh.
And there are pictures of her, like in her dress as a kid, like hanging out and playing in her like walled house. She had like security. Her dad worked for the government. Like she was cush.
She was Kush?
And in North Korea, you need domestic visas.
You like my parma?
Yeah.
We should show that. So what you can't see is all the North Korean soldiers on the other side putting their guns up while I'm at the border.
In North Korea, you need a domestic visa to get from one section into the other.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning the rich live where the rich live and the super poor live where the super poor live.
Dang, she's a psyop? I
So,
knew she was a psyop.
There's no way that she could know at a young age what the poor are living like
She didn't live on that side.
because she didn't live on that side of the wall. How does she know? Everything that she tells in her book and in her tour, it's like stories that people have told her over time. It's not like her lived experience.
Sadness. I thought she was a winner.
Yeah, no.
She's retarded.
The whole thing is a psyop.
That's unfortunate.
Because I've met several North Koreans in my life. And I think the first time I ever met one was when I first got really interested in North Korea.
Oh.
I was in China in a city called Dalian. And I was at some bar and I met like these North Korean guys.
Were they people who escaped? Or are they on business?
Yeah, business guys.
Oh, yeah. Because North Korea does a lot of business with China. Yeah.
And I was like shocked. I was like, you guys are from North Korea?
The television at home tells me you guys are slaves.
I was like 25 years old, 24 years old. And I was like, what? No, cognitively, this doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I was told that you guys can't leave.
Yeah. I thought this was a hermit kingdom where you get killed, right, for trying to leave.
And what am I doing at the bar with you guys?
Yeah.
And they were so interested in me because they've never met like a Korean from America before. They're like, oh, this is really interesting. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. So we sat around for a while having drinks, right? And they're like, what are you talking about? We come to China for business all the time.
Yes.
They make it sound like North Koreans can't leave North Korea, but that's not true. You just can't come to the United States.
Yeah.
You can go to other countries.
Oh, yeah.
People travel.
Yeah.
They make it sound like no one can go into North Korea, but that's not true. Only Americans can't go to North Korea.
Yep.
Other people can.
Yeah.
And there are border towns from China and North Korea where people go back and forth for work.
All the time.
Some North Koreans live in China.
Yeah.
And they go back to Korea, or they can come to China and live in China if they choose to, but they choose to live in North Korea because that's where their family is and life isn't that bad there.
No, it's not. There are thousands of migrant workers in America who legally cross the border between Mexico and America every single day.
And they go back.
And then they go back. This is what happens all across Europe, right? When I was consulting and doing client work in Europe, when I was in Switzerland, that client had people who crossed the border from Germany that day to go to work, right? Cross the border from France. It's just what people do. And what you have to understand at the base of the base is North Korea requires trade to survive. If you require trade to survive and you have many nice rich mineral and ore deposits that are good for trade, then you will have to have border access and normative business trade practices. So I kept this to myself, but 100%. I met North Koreans when I was living in South Korea. I also met North Koreans when I was in China who were also on business and had the same experience as you, which was, holy crap, the talking person on the retard on the TV told me that you guys couldn't exit, but there's like 15 of you guys here and you're like totally chill. We got our papers, we go back and forth, we make money for our families, is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's the American propaganda machine that tells us that, oh, they're the axis of evil. Really? North Korea is like the size of Rhode Island.
It's tiny.
Like, bro, they're the axis of nothing.
Well, which is why I gotta go see it for myself. Because I've met several people that have traveled through there, and people say, "Oh, the travel is all propaganda." Like, no, like you're just kind of there.
Yeah, but since you're an American, you would get shown the propagandized, tour.
If you join, because you have to go through a tour company. If you were to join a tour company and you were to go to Chicago, are you gonna go to the bad parts or the good parts only?
Fair enough.
If you do a tour of LA, are you going to go to Skid Row or are you going to go to the nice parts?
No, because Gavin Newsom, he throws all the homeless people into the tunnels and then shoots lasers at the tunnels to burn them all up.
So if someone visits your country,
I
and
saw
you're
that on
like,
Reddit.
someone visits your country and you're like, they only showed me the good parts. When have you ever gone to a country and the tour takes you to the bad parts?
No, you go to the bad parts when the tour's over, when you want to get a piece, you want to get a slice of diarrhea, off the map. That's how it works.
It's not a thing that you go to the bad parts when you visit a new country.
No.
Like, who wants to show that?
No.
That's just not how it works. And people will take a snapshot of North Korea and say, look, people are starving. If you did the same thing and you did a snapshot of Skid Row in LA and you said, this is America.
Don't do comparative studies here, Matt.
Then people are like, oh, America's the worst. Everyone's starving. Everyone's living in boxes in the street. Everyone has a tent, although they're all the same tent, by the way. They're all living in the street, and people are defecating in the road, and people are hurled over, and everyone's on drugs.
Yeah.
And that's what the world would think if that's only snapshot of the country that you were shown.
Yeah, if you start doing comparative numbers, then America is actually worse than most countries from a size perspective, right? Because America's what? Let's just round down. 300 million people. North Korea is like 70 million or something like that. I mean, from a ratio perspective, we clearly have more starving, homeless, derelict, unaccounted for lost people in America than North Korea has as a whole, for sure.
And this crazy metric that they use is food hunger.
Yeah.
Right? Are the people hungry? And they'll say, oh, North Korea, like 30% of the population are food hungry. I think like 20% of the United States considered food hungry.
Yes.
That's not a huge gap.
No, we're not that far off. I mean, we still have tens of thousands of people in the North Carolina areas that are homeless and hungry that our government doesn't care about. We have people in Hawaii, similar.